Hey guys, I'm Debbie, and today we're speaking into authenticity. I feel like authenticity is a word that's getting thrown around a lot. Authenticity. But it's such an interesting conversation to have because for many of us, the concept of authenticity is really sexy, but the practicality of it is not so easy to come by. By that I mean, for a lot of us, authenticity doesn't feel comfortable, or it feels unsafe, or it feels anxiety inducing. And here's why. If growing up you were in a family environment where your authentic self was made to feel like it was too much or not enough, or it created conflict, that's an issue. Why? Because as children, connection to our caregiver isn't just important for the sake of I desire connection. It's important because our survival is completely contingent on connection with caregiver. If our caregiver disconnects from us, that means we might not get fed, we might not get protection, we might not get housed, which means I'm in danger and I might die. And now I'm speaking more from a biological and evolutionary standpoint. This is how our body would physiologically respond whenever we feel disconnect from caregiver. So let me give you an example. You might have been that rambunctious child who was outside, your mom got you a new pair of shoes, and you're just being so playful and so innocent and so young and silly and wild and free that you jump in a puddle and you're just having a great time, but you get mud on your new shoes. And so you come inside like joyful, just having authentic experience. My authentic self is playful. My authentic self wanted to jump in that puddle. My authentic self was having a blast. But the moment I come inside, my caregiver, my mom, my dad, whomever, grandma, sees my shoes that they just bought me and they lose it. Oh my God, I just got you the shoes. What were you thinking? Why are you always so messy? Why can't you take care of anything that I give you? You break it all the time. Or whatever that might have been for you. And in that moment, that child wasn't being malicious. They were just being authentic. And in that moment, oh my God, caregiver is disconnecting from me. My body is now responding as if I'm in danger for the reasons I just mentioned. And so now authenticity isn't just linked to I'm not safe, it's actually linked to disconnect, and that disconnect is dangerous. So now my body goes into fight, flight, or freeze. I go into anxiety, I go into shutdown, I go into breakdown, I go into fear, whatever that might be for you. So now as an adult, obviously that's not true as adults. If somebody doesn't like you, I'm still gonna feed myself. Can still take care of myself for the most part. It's not contingent. My survival isn't contingent on someone else. I'm an adult. However, the subconscious mind has anchored that experience to authenticity of danger. And so now you might be on a date. You might be going to visit your family. You might be going to give a talk. You might even be talking to friends. And when it comes to being authentic, you tighten up, you go into anxiety, you don't feel comfortable, you feel uncomfortable, you feel stressed, you feel tense, and you actually start going into biologically a fight, flight, or freeze. Why? Because that's what was anchored as a child. So it almost becomes the experience of you're stepping into relationship, and it might be a healthy relationship, but you're experiencing it as unsafe. You're experiencing your authenticity as, oh my God, it's going to create disconnect, and disconnect isn't safe. So I'm just going to censor myself because I want to create connection. Except now it doesn't work anymore because you being inauthentic is actually preventing connection in 2020. So back to the concept of you're not in your old story, you're in a new one. And so it isn't an invitation to judge. It's actually a place for you to get that you're not doing anything wrong. Your difficulty being authentic and allowing yourself to be seen and known, you were taught that that wasn't okay. You were taught that that creates connection, maybe even conflict and disconnect. So you're actually doing the best that you can to create connection with outdated tools. And so now it's a process of you beginning to self-soothe in moments of authenticity. Okay, what's coming up for me? I feel anxious. Why? Because I was just authentic and I said what I was thinking, and oh my God, that makes me so nervous. I want to vomit. Okay, cool. I get that in 1995, when I dirtied my shoes, that was true. But in 2020, I'm safe, and my authenticity creates connection, and my authenticity is the medicine. You get to start shifting the belief around authenticity, because again, it was anchored to not safe. Now it's anchored to I'm safe. I would also invite you to check out the video on how to self-regulate the nervous system and couple that with the self-talk and the reframe, so that you're also working with the body to signal to the brain, hey, I'm being authentic and it's safe. Hey, I'm being authentic and it's creating connection. You're doing a great job. You're simply unlearning what you were taught. There's nothing wrong with you. You're doing the best that you can with the tools and consciousness that you were given. And it might just mean that they're no longer effective for your new environment, but they were super effective for your old environment. They worked. It worked. That's why your mind is still using it. Like, oh, don't be authentic because it worked. It neutralized conflict, but it doesn't work anymore. So it's unlearning that and learning to create safety in authenticity. I welcome your feedback. I welcome your questions. As you know, I always say that we rise together, and I really mean that. So drop your experiences below. I also really invite you to share if there's anything that you want me to speak on, because these videos I'm creating for you to support you where you're at in your journey. So you're welcome to drop the message below or shoot me a DM if you have any ideas of what you'd like me to speak into, because I'm open to that. And definitely consider signing up for the newsletter, because relationship, authenticity, boundaries, that's really a topic that I'm diving into this year again, because these are the topics that you've requested. And so I'm really being deliberate about creating tools, tips, content that are really going to serve you in your journey. If you're interested in that, the link is in the bio. If not, of course, you're welcome to put your comments below, and I will make it a point to respond to you. Okay? I love you. I really acknowledge the work that you're doing to reclaim your authenticity. You are a holy, powerful, worthy being, and I know that it can be so tough to take on these spaces that have felt so real and scary and unsafe. So I can't acknowledge you enough or honor you enough for taking this on, for doing the work, for standing up for yourself, and for continuing to show up for yourself, because it can be very daunting. And most people choose not to be woke because it's not a comfortable process. It's uncomfortable as shit. And so the fact that you're doing it, worth acknowledging and worth celebrating. And I invite you to celebrate it too, because it's a big deal, you showing up for you. All right, that's all for today. I love you lots, and that's it. Bye, guys.